say if you have gnats, when you have gnats, just don't panic. Just take off the first couple scobies that are contaminated, throw them in your compost, and when you get down to like your starter, because the gnats, that starter, they don't want to live in because it's pretty acidic. Okay, so don't panic. Okay, so when we set that aside, now what we're gonna do is we've got our tea boiling, we've got one made. And another time we would take this and put this in a warm spot. We're gonna let this sit for 7 to 10 days. Okay, now we're gonna do some bottling. You wanna get your strainer cleaned up. I got hibiscus flowers everywhere, sorry. Okay, we're gonna pull out, here's our batch. I did this last Wednesday, so 7 days later. And again, this is a really nice, beautiful SCOBY.
Wow.
Perfect.
It's really, really nice. Healthy. This is the mother. That was the baby.
You
See, they're about the
both.
same size. Yeah.
Keep both. Keep both.
And you'll get so many of these. Again, I put in the paper. You can cut them up and feed them to your dogs. They love them. They're so healthy for them. Your animals. Put them in the compost, or keep them for friends. Okay, so what we're going to do is once you take your scobies out, you want to give it a good whisk. And this is where we kind of veer away from most kombucha recipes. I do what I call a champagne method, or what's also called a second fermentation. We're going to add a little more sugar. I use about 1/3 of a cup. You don't have to use 1/3 of a cup. You don't even have to do this step. But I like it because it makes extra fizz and gives you a little bit of sweetness. I think that's where most people go wrong. They have no sweetness left and they don't have much fizz, and it just tastes horrible. So we're going to put about 1/3 of a cup of sugar. You can use a fork, you could use a couple tablespoons, whatever you're comfortable with. Make sure you whisk it first, because if you don't, you will have an explosion. If it doesn't fizz right away, don't worry about it. You're going to put it in your bottles and we'll develop the fizz. You want to whisk this really good because you want to dissolve your sugar. Okay, so you've got your 4-cup pitcher, your strainer, your funnel. And again, these are the kind of bottles I really like, but I want to be honest with you. What I mostly have are liquor bottles with plastic lids. You can get these from bars. Go to your local bar and ask for, I just want to turn that off. Go to your local bar and just ask for bottles with the lids. And you want plastic lids. If you don't get plastic lids, go on to the next source. Especially, and ask the bartender, save the lids, because if you don't have any lids, it's pointless.
Or the flavored coffee syrup bottles.
Or the flavored coffee syrup bottles. That's a great idea. Go to your local coffee shops. Okay, so here we go. And this is how you'll pour it up.
So pretty. It's a really nice rose color.
Hold it up, will you, Star?
And what we'll do is you just kind of fill it up, and you want a little head space. It's almost like you're canning if you've ever canned before.
And you're straining it again.
I strain it again. Some people never do that. I do. It's just as fast to strain it. What we're going to do is so here's what it looks like with a little bit of head space. There you go. That gives some head space for fermentation. We're going to wipe this lid off. Make sure when you're pouring it up, always clean off your lid, because if you have any wetness here, it'll keep from it sealing. And these are those great bottles. That's all you got to do. You don't have to twist or anything.
Is that it, Star?
And all we need to do is we're going to label it. Okay, today's date, March the 11th. When it was made, March the 4th. What kind? Bavarian berry. Your piece of tape.
And hold it up.
And there you go.
How long does it have to sit?
You need to let it set 14 to 21 days. That's what I like to do. You can probably drink it at 7 days, but it might be a little sweet. 7 days would be a little sweet. 14 to 21 days is going to give you a really nice, mellow kombucha. It will develop flavor over time. I hope you guys enjoyed the class.
Wonderful.